What's going on YouTube? Clover Bells here, back with another Series 12 team building video, and today I've got the spice today. I got all kinds of Clover Techs for this team. We're going to go with Calyrex Ice Rider and Groudon today. This is going to be one of my favorite teams to use in the month of April, just because of some of the move variants that we have on this team that maybe you otherwise wouldn't see elsewhere. So we're going to get a little bit more creative than normal. Than what you might see from this 6, but I do like this duo here a little bit more than the Calyrex Ice Rider and the Ogre kind of composition. You know, just mainly because Groudon definitely likes Trick Room. It absolutely loves Trick Room a little bit more than Tailwind. And when you have the pressure with double spread move with Groudon and Calyrex, okay, you could even like lead the Groudon, you know, deal a bunch of damage, and then Calyrex can just come in the end game with Trick Room and finish things off. That's very devastating. And then same thing on the flip side, Calyrex can lead, you know, deal a bunch of damage with the Glacial Lance. Yes, I understand there's Intimidate cycling and, you know, you can play around it, but you have ways to deal with that. But then in the end game, you could even like max your Groudon or max some of the other options that we have on the team, and it's just a very good Trick Room team that has a lot of consistent options with a couple of fun techs. All right, so you know, obviously the advantage of having Groudon is you know, you have something against Kyogre teams, the Swordfish teams, right, with Zacian and Kyogre and friends. Okay, well, we have Groudon and friends, okay, and our friends, our power of friendship, all right, is going to outweigh the power of friendship from those Kyogre, Zacian, and buddies. Okay, so first of all, how are we going to build this team? So, of course, when you have Groudon, you need something that benefits from Groudon as a way of getting enabled. And one Pokemon that we're going to put on this team is the Charizard, okay? The G-Max Charizard. So, Charizard Sun teams are very, very strong right now, especially what we call the Sun 6 with Grimmsnarl, Gastrodon, Groudon, okay, Incineroar, and Zacian, right? That's like your 6, but we have a different kind of 6 that we're going to go with here. So Charizard, again, going for max Airstream, you can make your Groudon very, very fast. G-Max Wildfire, chip things, and then when things have lost a bunch of their health, Calyrex can come in the end game and just wipe the floor with them with Glacial Lance, or, you know, just, you know, high horsepower shenanigans. But yeah, anyway, so Charizard's really, really good. It's great against those grass types that you might run into, like something like Venusaurs, or things that just don't want to take Airstreams in general. All right, but yeah, so Charizard's really good, and then you're gonna go with Incineroar here. So I think Incin is really good. Just overall, you need something, you know, other than Zard for Zacian matchups, right? You got Groudon, of course, yes, for Precipice Blades. You got Zard with the fire move, but then you need like Intimidate cycling just to like have something else against Zacian. You got to have some fake out pressure to help set up your Trick Room. You got to have a Dark type just to respect the Calyrex Shadow Rider matchup. Okay, you got Parting Shot shenanigans where you can reposition and then you get in your Groudon or Calyrex in a more favorable spot, just in case the other team tries to Intimidate cycle your Groudon and your Calyrex. Okay, so that's the benefit of having Incineroar on a Sun team like this. And, you know, Flare Blitz in the Sun also does hurt quite a bit. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, from here, I think we're going to have a weakness policy enabler for the Calyrex, as well as a little bit of redirection. Okay, just because, you know, we need a little bit more of an easier time than just fake out to set up our Trick Room here. So what I like on this kind of team is the Indeedee, okay, the female Indeedee, and this is what's gonna really help you against those Grimmsnarl teams. You know, of course, me being a Grimmsnarl user, I hate Indeedee because then I can't click Thunder Wave, I can't click Scary Face, you know, I can't click Fake Out, or not that I run Fake Out on my Grimmsnarl. Don't do that. That's a bad move on Grimmsnarl. All right, it's not that bad, but you know, anyway, but yeah. Psychic Surge is really, really good just against those Grimmsnarl teams. It really helps a lot. And you have redirection for Calyrex. And we're going to have a cute little tech to help us proc our little weakness policy that we have on the Calyrex. You might know what it is. Don't spoil it. All right. But yeah, so and it's also really good for the Zard because, you know, one reason that a lot of teams started running Lumberry on the Charizard is, you know, because of Grimmsnarl shenanigans. Like, they don't want to get Thunder Waved, they don't want to take Sleep Powder or Spore. You know, the Lumberry helps a lot with that. But if you have the Indeedee, you know, you can't click Thunder Wave on Zard, you can't click Scary Face on it, and then you can redirect, you know, stuff like Yawn, and then just switch it out. But we have stuff against Gastrodon Yawns, okay? But, you know, Lumberry is really, really good. But because you have the Indeedee, you can go something else. And I'll show you that item in a second. But let's round out the last slot on this team. And I really like Dusclops here. So yet again, another Pokemon that's really, really bulky. That really benefits from, you know, just being in Trick Room and helping set up the Calyrex. Dusclops is going to be Groudon's best friend, and you're going to wait till you see what kind of tech we're going to run on the Dusclops here. And it's going to make you think and maybe inspire your own version of Dusclops Groudon. And for those of you who know me and have been watching me since Series 8, you might already know what this tech is. But if you don't know it, you know, feel free to watch what I did with Dusclops and Groudon back in Series 8. That video, you're going to have to search a little bit deeper on the channel, but it's a cute little tech. But this is the 6 we're going to go with, right? So we have Redirection, we have Speed Control with the Trick Room, we got Intimidate, we got Fake Out, we got, you know, the big Charizard Dynamax. The Groudon can max on this team too, as well as the Calyrex, but not as much as the Calyrex. We really want to commit the Dynamax to either the Groudon or the Charizard, because they benefit a little bit more, and then that allows us to click Glacial Lance, very, very strong Glacial Lances, right? So this is the 6 we're gonna go with. Again, looks like a Sun Trick Room team to a degree, and that's gonna affect how our EVs are gonna be, especially on the Groudon. But let's just go ahead and reveal the GIFs. So Dusclops, Incineroar, Indeedee, and the Zard to go along with the Groudon and the Calyrex Ice Rider. So now let's take a look at how we're gonna do our movesets, what kind of techs we're gonna run, and how we do our EV spreads. Okay, so let's look at the Groudon first. So obviously we're gonna have Drought. Now in terms of our move set, okay, of course we're gonna have Precipice Blades, the signature move of Groudon. We have Rock Slide, and we have Fire Punch. That's Fire Blast, sorry. Okay, Fire Punch. So this is really good in the sun. This is one of the new things that most Groudons are running, because it KOs Zacian in the sun, which is really, really nice, especially if you have a lot of attack investment. And we are going to run Protect here. So we're not running the Assault Vest Groudon, which is quite good against Kyogre teams. Okay, very, very nice. I like the Assault Vest. I like Citrus Berry. But we're going with Violent Groudon on this team, and you'll understand why. We're going with Life Orb Groudon, believe it or not. Okay, we're going to make Groudon a beast on this kind of team, and you'll understand why when we get to the Dusclops. Okay, but just bear with me for a second. Okay, Calyrex, standard moveset here. Glacial Lance, the signature move, high horsepower, very good against Incineroars, especially at +1. Even if they intimidate you, if you proc the weakness policy and you go for high horsepower, that Incineroar is as good as dead, right? Assuming you still have the +1 boost. Okay, of course, Trick Room. All right, and then of course Protect here. Now I really like Protect on the Calyrex just because, you know, with the weakness policy item, you can protect and potentially bait out a super effective move and then get your policy going. So I really like that. Now the Zard here, typically there's going to be some variance here depending on how you like the Zard, okay? And I'll give you some options. Now one thing you could do is Blast Burn, Hurricane, Solar Beam, okay, and Protect. Now the reason why we're running Solar Beam here is because we don't have the Venusaur anymore. A lot of teams are dropping the Venusaur, but you kind of need the grass coverage against Gastrodon, because if you don't have Solar Beam, look at this team. How are you going to beat the Gastrodon? The only way you can really do it is with the Glacial Lance, you know, +2 weakness policy proc. But you don't want to rely on only that. You got to have something else to deal with the Gastrodon here. Solar Beam is really, really nice. Okay, you can go with this kind of moveset, and you can go with the Lumberry here. This is totally fine. This is a very good Dynamax Charizard here. But another kind of thing is I like to make the Zard a little bit bulkier on this kind of team. So we're going to go with Assault Vest, all right, and I still like Scorching Sands. So this is good also against like Incineroar here, because, you know, when you have Groudon and Calyrex, you know, teams are already thinking, I gotta bring my Incineroar. I gotta intimidate these two behemoths, or else I can't, you know, mitigate that damage. All right, but if we have the Scorching Sands, this is what's going to help us against the Incin. So really, really nice. Now you could even go for something like the Ancient Power here, just for an opposing Zard, but I don't think that's necessary, because Calyrex at weakness policy proc with the Max Hailstorm can just wipe the floor with the Zard, and you have the Groudon with the Rock move with the Life Orb. So there's no way Zard's living that unless they are Chardy Berry. But you know, at that point, we'll deal with that when the time comes. But If they're not their little Charty Berry shenanigans, then this is another cool set to have on Zard. But I do like having the Zard do something outside of max besides clicking the Blast Burn. But if you like the Blast Burn, you're more than welcome to keep it. I do like Heat Wave here, just because, again, another spread move that deals a lot of damage in the sun. Okay, and I think it's still relatively solid. And I still like Air Slash just because you got the Air Flinch hacks. The Flinch hacks. But if you like Hurricane, if you like Blast Burn, if you like these strong Dynamax options, feel free to go with it. I'm just showing you a couple different ways to try and use the Charizard depending on the player personal preference, okay? Alright, so I like the Assault Vest Zard here. Alright, and this is going to help, sometimes against, Regieleki and Kyogre a little bit. Not that you may bring the Zard into Kyogre necessarily, okay, but, just having the Assault Vest, especially against, like, a Regieleki would help a little bit. Alright, but anyway, I'll leave the Zard up to you, but Incineroar, Safety Goggles, Amoonguss can be an issue if you get your Trick Room up, but if you have the Incin, then you're fine. You are going to have Redirection with the Indeedee to help you a little bit. But I still like the Incin with the Safety Goggles. So Flare Blitz, Fake Out, Parting Shot, and Throat Chop. Okay, really, really nice. And then Dusclops. So this is it. All right, this is where we're gonna have the text. All right, and this is where you give me the sub on the channel for thinking of this. But we're gonna have Shadow Sneak. Okay, obviously, right? We are gonna have Trick Room, of course. Okay. Now Shadow Sneak. Why? Because of the Calyrex. Weakness policy self-proc. All right, really, really nice. You can even use this to break Sash on an opposing Calyrex Shadow Rider, break their Sash, and then one of these behemoths can just KO them from there, like even your Incin. Okay, and then from here, Will-O-Wisp. Okay, just being in Trick Room and going for like Will-O-Wisp that can go first is really nice. You can Will-O-Wisp Zacian, you can Will-O-Wisp Groudon, you can Will-O-Wisp an opposing Calyrex, a Solgaleo, a Necrozma. All these things just hate Will-O-Wisp, so great to have on the Dusclops. But what is the Clover Tech on this team? All right, this is it. It's Gravity. Okay, Gravity. If you don't know what Gravity does, okay, no ground immunities and you get an accuracy boost. So what does that mean? So your Will-O-Wisps are now accurate. All right, they're not gonna miss. Okay, but more importantly, you pair this with Groudon, okay? You pair this with Groudon, and now your Precipice Blades can hit flying types. You can hit those Zapdoses, okay? You can hit, what else is flying? Those Tornaduses or whatever is flying at the moment. Yveltal, another one you can hit, okay? And then, they don't miss. Precipice Blades, they don't miss. How many games have you, the viewer, lost because Precipice Blades miss? How many games have you lost? Tell me. Tell me. All right, but now I have solved that problem. You click Gravity and you click Precipice Blades, Life Orb Precipice Blades, you're relaxing, you're chilling. All right, same thing. Rock Slide. How many games have you lost when you missed Rock Slide? How many games? A bunch. Now you solve that problem. You click Gravity, you click the spread moves, they're 100% accurate, you win the game. You hit the flying types, you win the game. Okay, you can hit Thundurus, you can hit Zapdos, you can hit Tornadus, you can hit Landorus. Okay, so really, really cool tech that we have here. Same thing with the Zard. Heat Wave, kind of sad when you miss. Same with Air Slash, but not that you'll use Gravity, with the Zard necessarily, but, it's really, really nice with the Groudon, and I kind of like it a lot. Now, just be aware that the opponent can benefit from this as well. However, I don't know if they're going to even get the chance if they're going to be taking a Life Orb Precipice Blades, okay? Now, if you don't like Gravity, if you don't like this tech, then just go ahead and go with the Helping Hand, right? Helping Hand, Glacial Lance, Helping Hand, Precipice Blades is devastating. Helping Hand, G-Max move, really, really nice. But if you like the idea of the Clover Tech Gravity with Groudon, okay, it's cool. It's cool. I like it. Now, let's go with the Indeedee here. So we're going to go with the Psychic Seeds, get that special defense boost. And then you have Follow Me. Okay, Helping Hand. I'm going to skip the second slot for a second. And, of course, Protect. Now, you might say, oh, Expanding Force. We got the tech. We're going to give that up on this kind of team. We're going to go with Mystical Fire for a couple of reasons. One, it's nice in the sun. It does quite a bit of damage. You reduce special attack, so it's going to be really cool against, those Dialgas, those Palkias, those Life Orb Yveltals, those Zapdoses, even Kyogre, things that don't want to have their special attack reduced. It's really, really nice. But not only that, if you pair the Calyrex with the Indeedee, now you see the madness, right? You follow me, you click Trick Room, next turn, Mystical Fire, your own Calyrex, +2 Glacial Lance, goodbye. All right, the game is in your hand, okay? Really, really cool. We got a lot of nice options on this team, and you can't be helped but intrigued in trying it out, right? So this is the 6 in terms of our items and movesets. Let's go ahead and do the EVs. Hopefully at this point now, you are excited and how we do this team. So for Groudon here, we're just going to be a little bit slow here, but we're still going to hit that 112 benchmark, just because if we do go with the fast mode with the Airstream on the Charizard, we can outspeed another base 100, or we can even outspeed a Calyrex Shadow Rider after 2 Airstreams. So we can go with that. Of course, we're going to go Adamant here, you know, just to be a violent Groudon here. Now from here with our attacking stat, we'll just try and hit a bump here. And I believe, actually, I don't know if you know, we will hit the bump. I think this is okay. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to optimize my HP for Life Orb chip, which is at 199. This is it right here. So if I break the threshold with 200, right, 200 divided by 10 is a perfect 20. So you're taking 20 damage per turn. But if I undercut that to 199, now you only take 19.9 damage per turn, which rounds down to 19 damage, okay? So I cheat the system a little bit by reducing how much damage I take with Life Orb per turn, all right? And then from here, you still have a little bit of special defense. You can go 100 here, and this is our Groudon spread. Now, you're a little bit short from the bump, and if you want, you can just do something like this, where you go to 236, I believe is where it's at. Okay, you can do this, so you still have a little bit of special defense, but I still like a little bit more special defense on the Groudon, so I just go to 100 here, just to have a little bit of extra bulk. It's not calced for anything, okay, but still, it's nice. All right, so that's our Groudon spread. Dusclops here, just go for, like, you know, just hit the benchmark with the defense, and then just max the HP and dump the rest in special defense at the moment. I'm not trying to calc for anything at the moment, so I'm just going to go for relaxed nature. All right, obviously 0 speed. All right, I want to be slow. Max HP here. Hit that second bump here, which I believe, so here's the first one, right? You go from 174 to 176, right? You hit the first benchmark or the first EV bump. And again, if you don't know what EV bumps are and you're trying to play competitive Pokemon, you gotta know what they are. Comment in the video below if you don't know what EV bumps are. If you don't know what EV benchmarks are, I'll explain it to you. I'll write it in a comment. But if you don't know, feel free to comment. And this is the kind of stuff I do during coaching when I teach newer players when they reach out and apply for a coaching lesson, which you can do with the tier 2 or tier 3 perk on the channel if you look in the video description below. But anyway, back to the EV spreads. So after every 80 EVs, you hit that benchmark. So after 76 plus 80, 156 investment, you hit the second benchmark. So here it is right here. So you go from 185 to 187 defense stat. See that? So you skip 186. This is a benchmark. You go up by 2 instead of 1 point, and then just dump the rest in special defense. All you really need the Dusclops to do is support. You click Trick Room, you click Shadow Sneak, you proc the policy, you wisp everything, you click Gravity, make sure Groudon doesn't miss, and everything is all hunky-dory. All right, Zard here. Again, you have the solar power. You're losing 1/8 of your HP per turn. Just taking all that damage. But of course, we're just gonna go max speed on the Zard. Timid is great. Just optimize the HP a little bit, hit that 159 HP benchmark here, and then just add 1 point in the bulkier, and then the rest in special attack. All we really need the Zard to do is get that wildfire chip going. This is a little bit weaker of a Zard than like without the Life Orb, but again, you don't need the Life Orb. But if you do want the Life Orb on the Zard, you can go Life Orb here, you can go like Assault Vest here or with the Berry. Either way works. This is just like what I'm thinking at the moment, but I'll show you that spread with the second paste if you want to consider that. But yeah, I like this. Again, Solar Beams for the Gastrodons. It could even go into the Kyogre if you bring the Zard into Kyogre. I don't think I would recommend it, but great against Gastrodon. Scorching Sands, those annoying Incineroars, even those Dialgas a little bit. And then of course G-Max Wildfire and the Airstream, right? Incin, again, a very standard Incin. I'll show you the two spreads that I like to do. which is something like this. So first benchmark here, then something like this, a very fast Incin, 116 investment, 95 speed Incin, just so that you're the faster Incin. And what this does is a couple things. One, you have a faster fake out. Two, you have a faster throat chop, which means you stop an opposing Incineroar for going for their parting shot, because parting shot is a sound move and throat chop stops the sound move. And three, in Trick Room, your Incineroar parting shot goes last, right? I say it in every video, but if they go first with their parting shot because they're slower in Trick Room, right? Or technically faster, whatever they bring in, now it's your turn to parting shot them. Okay, so if they want a parting shot into their Calyrex or their Necrozma or Solgaleo, whatever it is, then your parting shot goes in there, and then you swap out, and whatever they brought in is -1, and then you're good. All right, so this is a good kind of spread on a Trick Room team. All right, but if you want to go bulkier, then you just do something like this, something a little more standard. Just go second benchmark here with 156 investment. All right, and then the rest, just dump the rest in the HP stat, and then here in the defense. And this is a perfectly fine Incineroar spread here. All right, Calyrex. So in the past, what I've done is I tried to EV the Calyrex to survive Life Orb, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Astro Barrage. But, you know, they're not using Life Orb that much anymore. They're going with the Focus Sash. Okay, they like preserving it. So I'll just show you what that spread looked like. But this is what it was. Okay, with 252 HP and 108 defense, you survive the Life Orb, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Astro Barrage. But because they're not Life Orb anymore, you can drop some of this special defense and invest more in your attack stat, maybe a little bit in the defense and speed, just so that you can outspeed another Calyrex, Shadow Rider a little bit. But, you know, I still like this spread. It hasn't really failed me yet. And, you know, just going up against some Dynamax special attackers like a Dialga, for example, you know, having this spdef is really, really nice. So I kept it the way it was. Okay, but if you want to chip it a little bit and go for a little bit more attack, then you can just do something like this and then hit the benchmark and the attacking stat. All right, so this is totally fine as well. But I haven't had a problem with this kind of spread at the moment. You know, I'm still respecting the Life Orb Calyrex. Okay, but again, I showed you what to do if you don't care for it. Now Indeedee, what you can do is go bold, all right, and then you can EV this so that you survive a Zacian Behemoth Blade. All right, so just let's go with a benchmark here. So 236. Actually, no, you can just go almost max here, and then this HP. This is my spread if I remember, right? Just a tiny bit of defense. All right, an even number, and then right here just a little bit of speed. So what this does, you live the Behemoth Blade, and then you just have left over in the bulk 1 point in the special attack and speed, and then a nice even number for the Psychic Seed boost, because, you know, any times 1.5, you don't want an odd number there, because then it becomes a decimal, which then rounds it down. You always want an even number if you're going to go with these seeds boost. Okay, so this way you get a nice whole number and you get the best bang for your buck. All right, so yeah, this is it. All right, you know, I'll make the Pokepaste for this, and then we'll show you a couple of damage calcs. But again, you know, I'll show you another version where you can switch these two items and go AV Groudon and Life Orb Zard or Lumberry Zard, and re-EV the Calyrex if you don't care for the Life Orb Calyrex Shadow Rider KO. But yeah, this is it. So let's take a look at some damage calcs. Okay, so this is it. So if you look at Calyrex here, this is going up against Calyrex Shadow Rider, and you can see the damage calc here, right? Astro Barrage, 99% does not KO the Calyrex Ice Rider, all right, with a Life Orb. Okay, now without it, look how much damage it does. Without the Life Orb, that just does at max 75%, and then you get the Trick Room up, you get +2, and then you just dominate him from there with the Glacial Lance, and then get your boost. Now, if you take away this investment, if you just go the bump and then just do it like this with a little bit of special defense, then at most you're taking 80%, which honestly is still okay. You know, in Trick Room, 80%, you just Glacial Lance things, all right, and then they just die, right? So, you know, you can do it like this. So I just want to show you that with less investment, you can live. And then if you have no investment, you still live anyway, right? At most 84%. Okay, so, you know, it's up to you. If you want the special defense investment, go for it. But I'm just showing you that I was just respecting the Zard. All right, so that, go figure for that. All right, let's take a look at a couple of others. Okay, so let's take a look at the AV Zard. So one thing that, well, with this kind of investment for Charizard is you can take a geyser from a Palkia relatively okay. Actually, no, not relatively okay. You can live it. So if there was no weather, okay, the geyser does not kill the Zard. Okay, you live it. You can go for your Wildfire Chip, okay, and deal some damage from there. Now, if you had the Sun Up, so you can actually take just under 50% from the geyser, okay, and then he'll obviously he'll change your weather, but then you can still get off maybe a potential second move, all right, but you can take one with the Sun Up relatively okay. So thanks to the Assault Vest there. So you see that 49% max. This is 252 modest life lustrous orb. Let's change that to Life Orb. Okay, so a little bit above 50% now, but still you can take that. All right, which then makes me think, all right, what about this without the sun? All right, so now it's a little bit of a roll, 43%, but still not bad. Still not bad. What about Kyogre? All right, what about Kyogre? Okay, so Kyogre with the sun up, okay, no max. Water Spout, Origin Pulse, again, not killing Zard if the sun is up. If the rain is up, okay, yeah, you die. If I Dynamax, I don't die from the Origin Pulse. The Water Spout can still kill. Wait, sun up, sorry. Now with the sun up, all right, again, you take everything fine. Your Dynamax, okay, Overgrowth can deal big damage into the Kyogre. It's very rare you're gonna one-shot it, but you'll do a lot just because you don't have the Life Orb anymore. But in the rain, all right, Water Spout, Origin Pulse is not gonna kill you. Water Spout potentially could kill you. Actually, it most likely will, because that's like what, 93%? Yeah, that's killing you. So in that sense, yeah. But again, just position yourself, right? Get the Groudon, put the sun up, okay, deal some big damage into the Kyogre. But just be aware of things that can happen. But the Assault Vest is helping a little bit. Regieleki is another one. I don't know too many teams that want to bring Regieleki against Groudon. But let's say this was like a standard Aleki with like Magnet, so Thunderbolt and Volt Switch. All right, they'll do some damage into the Zard, but they won't kill the Zard, right? This is Magnet Aleki, which means Focus Sash Aleki does even less with the Assault Vest. Now, if this was like a Life Orb Aleki, all right, then we have to consider something else. But Life Orb Aleki still okay, right? So Thunderbolt, Electro Web, Volt Switch, again, all these moves, they do damage, but again, the Zard is still fine, all right, when it's Dynamax. Now, what if it wasn't max? Okay, so now let me take this away. Focus Sash Aleki without max Zard with the AV. Okay, so Timid, no item, right? This is Zard. So Electro Web, okay, 50%. Volt Switch, again, not going to kill. But again, the Thunderbolt has a role now, so it's not going to one-shot the Zard, but still not too bad. Again, this is unmaxed Charizard, all right, not max. Now, if both of these things max, all right, let's say this is like a Life Orb Aleki. Life Orb Regieleki Dynamax against Dynamax Charizard. We're okay. We'll live one max Lightning, all right, and we'll live the other max Light. What are these moves? Thunderbolt, Electro Web, and Volt Switch, all right. And then this one is the one with the roll. This is the Thunderbolt with Life Orb Dynamax Aleki. So still not too bad. Okay, I'll still live with this. And then if the sun is up, we just KO it right back with a Wildfire, or potentially even with a Quake. But yeah, definitely still okay here against the Aleki. Just a little bit of positioning has to happen, but you got some favorable rolls here, so not too bad with the AV Zard. Okay, so this is the Indeedee R spread against a Jolly Zacian, and again, you can live the Behemoth Blade, and not all Zacians are 252 Jolly. Some of them invest a little bit in bulk, and then a little bit less in the attack stat, which is okay. But you can take one Behemoth Blade with the Indeedee, and then if you have Intimidate, then you take Adamant Behemoth Blade a little bit better, and then this way you can even know, like, all right, if they kill me, all right, then he might more likely be Adamant, right? This 6.3% chance, that's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, but that's our Indeedee spread. And then now what we're gonna do is we'll take a look at some Groudon calcs. Okay, so this is just to give you a sample damage calc with gravity. So look, if you look at Groudon, the Precipice Blades, even it's a spread move, you will one-shot the Zapdos. I removed the flying typing because we clicked gravity, and that's actually really, really cool, the fact that you can do that. So definitely, again, if you're killing the Zapdos, you're probably killing the Thundurus as well. So now, what we're going to do is we'll take a look at some sample battles and see how this team can play out. Okay, perfect. The Sun 6, right? This is what every pleb is running right now. So this is, again, where like something like a Zard, you know, Solar Beam is really good against the Gastrodon and could be even good against the Groudon as well. But I'm going to try something else here. What I'm going to do is go for the Trick Room route and just bring the Groudon in from the back. So I think that's okay. But I'm leading the Calyrex here. So he's going to go with Incin and he's going to go with Groudon. So good lead because he intimidates my Calyrex. Not that I care, but here's the Indeedee. And now what we can do is we can set up our Trick Room with Follow Me and then just set up the TRB. And there's not really much you can do to stop it. So he maxes the Groudon, but that doesn't matter. So there's the Flare. I don't think that's correct. And then there's the Darkest Area, but that's okay. Here's the Trick Room. And now we bring in the Dusclops in the back. So the key was he killed the Indeedee. And now we bring in our second weakness policy procer, which is Dusclops. And now we're in Trick Room. We can Dynamax. And I see the Assault Vest, I see the Shuka Berry, but again, Shuka Berry doesn't matter when you have a Calyrex, right? Because you have the ability called As One. So there it is, no Shuka Berry for you. Goodbye, Incin. I know you have a Zacian in the back, so I know you're not going to pivot it. And there's Max Flare, and that does some damage, but again, not a whole lot. So here's the Zard. Now we just burned the Groudon, so now our problems are solved, and we go for Hailstorm, and there goes the Zard. Okay, and he could go for his Steel move, which he does, but again, because he's burned, it doesn't really do a whole lot. And now he has the Zacian in the back. We all know he has the Zacian, but we can just burn this and just kill the Groudon, honestly. And there it is, we burned it. He didn't even protect, and we just wiped the floor here. Now he could kill the Calyrex because he did that. Even if he's burned, but that doesn't matter. We have Groudon in the back, and he actually just forfeits because, you know, he's burned and he can't really beat the Dusclops. But what I would have done was, if I brought in the Groudon here, he might protect, right? But then I just click Gravity and click Precipice Blades. Next turn, I can just protect the Groudon and, click something on the Dusclops like Shadow Sneak. All right, but then next turn, again, he might protect again, but again, after that, I just click Precipice Blades, and then the game is over, right? Because I'm not going to be missing. So, cool team. That's how you beat the Sun 6. That's one way to beat the Sun 6, even without the Solar Beam tech. Let's look at one more and see if we can play against something else. Okay, this is pretty cool. So this is Necrozma with like Whimsicott Groudon shenanigans. So he has Fast Mode with Whimsicott, Zard, and Groudon, as well as the Thundurus. He has Redirection with the Indeedee, so he's got the Slow Mode. He's got a cool team. I do respect it. Now, again, if we just click the Trick Room mode, I think we have a favorable matchup because our mode is slower than his. So we're favorable there, and I don't think he brings the Whimsicott at all. So very simply, I can go Incin and Calyrex. Now, I understand he might have a Thundurus, which is actually what he leads. But again, I think we're in still a good spot because either way, I don't think the Thundurus can KO the Calyrex here. We're very bulky. Now, I do go into Dusclops here. I am going to try for the Trick Room. He goes for Helping Hand, and there's the Helping Hand Foul Play. Doesn't do enough damage, which is why I was fine with leaving the Calyrex in like that. I do know that calc. I do miss the Wisp. I tried to Wisp the Thundurus, but at least I can kill the Indeedee. And now I'm +1. And now I'm slower in Trick Room. Oh, this is a free kill into the Thundurus. I'm just going to land a Wisp. And again, I missed another Wisp. This is why Gravity is so good. Look how many times I've just missed Wisps in this game. Alright, and there's the Max Steel Spike. You know, I could have even protected and click Gravity and then click the Wisp. But again, this is still okay because now I intimidate both the Necrozma and the Groudon. And I fake out in Psychic Terrain because I'm a Chad and because Showdown graphics are amazing. There's the Rockfall. Doesn't kill the Incin because we burned the Necrozma finally. The P-Blades misses the Dusclops. Does kill the Incin. But again, he did crit me, but that's still okay. Because now we can just Dynamax the Groudon here. I'm going to try and Wisp the Groudon with my last turn of TR, but I missed that too. I missed 3 out of 4 Will-O-Wisp. This is what I mean. This is why Gravity is broken, right? I could have not missed any of those Wisps if I clicked Gravity, okay? But I was still in a fine spot even though I did that, but then this is still fine. He just forfeits. He can't beat the Dynamax Groudon in the end game with the Dusclops. So again, another cool way of maxing the Groudon on this team. Life Orb, okay, bulky with the Dusclops. You could even go like Pain Split if you don't like the gravity tech, but yeah, on carts, I'm definitely going to go for gravity, all right? But again, this is still a cool way of showcasing it. Let's take a look at the Pokepaste one more time. Okay, so again, here's our paste again. Again, this is with gravity. We have the Avizard, the Life Orb Groudon with Precipice Blades and a good Dynamax option, and the Indeedee Mystical Fire tech along with the Calyrex Ice Rider. Really, really nice. Can't help also deal some damage in the sun if a little bit, and just neuter them just a tad bit. But again, if you don't like that, you can go with the Zard set with the Lumberry with Blast Burn, Hurricane, Solar Beam, so more stronger Dynamax moves with the Blast Burn and the Max Airstream. And then you could put the AV on the Groudon and just do the EVs like this, where you hit the third benchmark with the attack stat and then just max the HP. And then now you have Heavy Slam, so you could boost your defenses as well. And then you can even like remove gravity and then just go with like Helping Hand if you don't prefer it. But then if you want the Citrus Berry set, where you have Swords Dance and Protect, this is also what I would do, because the thing is, like, if they want to cycle their Incin, and then there's really no way for your Groudon to get its attack back, so this is still the benefit of running Citrus Berry. And then in the sun, you're able to take a Water Spout from a Kyogre, get the Berry proc, and then be able to take another one. So I gave you 3 kinds of EVs here with the Groudons and the Zards here. So let me know which one you like. And again, instead of gravity, if you just don't prefer it, just go Helping Hand and then just smash from there. Helping Hand is kind of cool. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you're on the train, if you're on the gravity train, let me know, comment in the video. This will probably be a rental code in April. I'm going to test it a little bit more and see if there's any couple of changes that I would do. But for the most part, this is the 6. This is pretty much the sets. But if you see any EVs change, again, April 1st, you'll see a rental code video where I release the rental and then I explain the EVs as well. But if you're interested in team building or team fixing, regionals, we're in the regional season, okay? Locals are coming back, all right? If you want to build the team, okay, and you need some help, sub to the channel. Tier 2 sub is team fixing, where you give a paste to me. I look at it and I re-optimize it, maybe change them on here or there, and then I give it back to you. You can try it out in some battles and then I give you some feedback. Or if you don't have a team at all and if you just want to learn how to team build and then just want to build a team from scratch with me on a Discord call, that's a tier 3 sub to the channel, so consider that. I've already had a bunch of coaching sessions with a bunch of people, so it's hot. The Clover coaching sessions are hot right now, so definitely sub to the channel if you want some extra help. But we'll be back with another Series 12 video. Until next time, guys, have a good one.